Hello and welcome to VPI Conversations, a video series investigating the virtual public involvement practices that state and local agencies use for transportation planning and project development. VPI Conversations is part of the Federal Highway Administration's Virtual Public Involvement Program, an Everyday Counts initiative. My name is Bob Washington, and I'm with the Federal Highway Office of Project Development and Environmental Review. Today I'll be speaking to Brad Charlo, supervisor of the Urban Travel Analysis Unit at the Michigan DOT. And we'll be talking about online surveys, accessibility, telephone town halls, and reaching rural communities. Thank you for joining us today, Brad.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great. We're glad to have you. Please take a few moments and tell us about yourself.
Sure. So I've been with the Michigan Department of Transportation for close to 18 years now. I'm currently serving as the project manager of Michigan's new state long-range transportation plan.
Very good. And so, Brad, it's my understanding that Michigan DOT has engaged in an extensive public and stakeholder participation plan for Michigan Mobility 2045, the state long-range plan. Can you describe this plan for those listening today?
So this effort that for our public and stakeholder participation plan that you're referring to really addresses a lot of key components and different options for people to get involved. So such options include the online MetroQuest survey that we have for this plan. In the spring of 2019, we had it out there from January through April and received 6,300 survey results from the state. And then other methods we used were telephone town hall meetings where we would call folks and provide them with an opportunity to call in at specific times to ask questions, and then we would answer those questions and explain how that ties to the long-range plan. We also did a lot of in-person events where we partnered with our region planners and partnering agencies at conferences, workshops, and other informative meetings for the public to encourage them to fill out the survey and to answer questions and inform them on that effort.
Very good. Michigan DOT, as a part of outreach, decided to use surveys. Tell us why you utilize surveys and a little more about what results that you experienced.
Sure. I mean, surveys are a great way to ask folks objectively what their opinions are and what their priorities are. So in phase one, we did 2 different surveys where we went out there and asked them for their priorities to help us establish the vision for the plan. I mentioned the MetroQuest survey was given to anyone across the state who went on our website or who participated and were willing to spend the 5 to 7 minutes to fill it out. And then from there, we also did an attitudes and perception survey, which was based on a stratified sample of our state's demographic population by region as well, so that we could also see from a statistically significant sample what the numbers were. And overall, between those 2 surveys, the results were pretty consistent.
Thank you. What about the distribution of the surveys? Tell us a little bit about how you got the surveys out in your network.
Not only did we ask people to go to our website, but we also went to the people and asked them to fill out the survey where they were as well.
Thank you. Now, I know that you initially experienced a challenge with the accessibility of the survey. Can you speak about the challenge and how you addressed it?
Sure. For the MetroQuest survey, it's a very good tool because it relies on visual graphics to help guide people to answer their questions. However, this reliance on graphics caused a challenge for individuals with visual impairments who were taking the survey. To overcome this challenge, we developed an accessible PDF reader version of the survey for people who are visually impaired, as well as a paper version of the survey for the public. As part of the Phase 2 survey, to assist the deaf, blind, and hard of hearing community, we have also had the survey transcribed into American Sign Language by a certified deaf interpreter and have embedded videos of those transcriptions into the accessible version of the survey.
I appreciate that. MDOT has also used telephone town hall meetings, particularly to reach rural populations. Can you tell us why and how MDOT went about this?
Yes, we had heard about telephone town hall meetings through the Colorado Department of Transportation. They had used them for their long-range plan and for other avenues and had quite a very successful response in terms of participation. So that brought us as an idea of maybe this would be an avenue as well. So we held our first round of telephone town hall meetings in early February of 2019. It started out by randomly calling 10,000 landlines 24 hours in advance of each meeting in order to invite them to participate. Also posting it on our press releases and social media. We wound up with participants from all 83 counties in the state of Michigan calling in between these two town hall meetings. We held one on a Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. and the second one at Wednesday morning at 10 a.m., just in case people had different work schedules or different times of the day that worked better for them. We had subject matter experts to be able to point to answer those questions, and we received over 3,000 people between the two meetings at the peak times who participated in these two telephone town hall meetings. So we found that very successful because in the past when we would hold an in-person meeting specifically on the long-range plan, we were always lucky to get 10 people to show up. And now we had 3,000 people across all 83 counties participating in these town halls and being informed on the plan and being able to answer some of their questions.
Share with us today how MDOT incorporated them into the long-range plan.
What we did with all that information was to form a stakeholder group of representatives of different modal agencies, different advocacy groups, people from MDOT, as well as owners and operators of all modes of transportation in the state of Michigan. And this group has been a catalyst to help the state of Michigan develop a vision statement for the long-range plan. But there's a lot of words in that vision statement because it reflects what people from the surveys told us, from the public comments, from all forums, whether it was town halls, MetroQuest, in-person meetings, and it represents a diversity of interest. And so the vision statement is more people-focused, future-focused. We've since then developed goals and objectives for the long-range plan and are moving into the next round of surveying, which will get to help us establish specific strategies. So all of this information is being used to inform and develop the direction of the plan.
Very good. Now that you have had this experience with virtual public involvement, tell us, what advice would you give to someone starting out?
Biggest advice I'd say is these are all different tools in your toolbox to use. You really need to use a hybrid or a combination of these methods in order to be successful. The MetroQuest survey really worked well in order to catch younger population groups, those who are more comfortable using their electronic devices to provide input. The town hall meetings were a little more successful to catch folks in rural areas who may not have broadband access or where it's more difficult for them to link to technology. Still going and doing in-person or virtual types of meetings where we can talk directly with the general public also still is a way that meets some of the more senior populations and gets them an opportunity to do things. So all of these methods as a whole are ways to get to the people on their turf in order for them to feel comfortable providing information.
Thank you again to Brad Charlo of Michigan DOT for speaking with us today. If you want to watch more VPI Conversations or learn more about virtual public involvement strategies, please visit the website on the screen or click the link in the description. And if you want to learn more about how Michigan DOT has used VPI during project development, please watch our companion video talking with Michigan DOT's Carrie Martin. Thank you for joining us.